All right, everyone. Welcome to Lunch with the Doc. I'm Aubrey here. It's my first time ever with Lunch with the Doc hosting, and I can't believe I get to do it the first time with Mama Lisa. So today we just wanted to do a holiday, kind of a holiday themed Lunch with the Doc, and we wanted to share one of our Arthur's personal recipe with you that she makes every year. We just had it at our staff party, and I can say it was good.
It's good. Okay, so what we're making today is an almond cake, and here's a picture of it. It's beautiful. As you can see, it's very festive, and after you bake it, you put on the powdered sugar and the almonds. So it's really simple ingredients. You are first going to cream together butter, almond paste, and sugar. And we have a couple different sugars that we have right here today. This is just your basic cane sugar. If you're wanting to make something that's a little bit less glycemic index, you can use this. And it's a super low glycemic index sugar, and it works exactly the same proportions of regular sugar. Then, you know, you can always use something like an organic coconut sugar if you want, which is a little bit less glycemic index also. I'm gonna use the traditional old sugar today. So first and foremost, we're just gonna cream these three things together. Now, almond paste, you may have never worked with it before. You can find it at our pavilions, and you can also find it at Whole Foods. Now, this recipe that we're gonna put up for you is very sweet if you make it with almond paste that has sugar in it. So we're gonna modify it a little bit, how much sugar we're gonna put in it, and we'll put that up on the website, exactly how much sugar, because it gets pretty sweet. So first of all, we're gonna use a pound of butter.
Oh, that's great.
That always makes it good. So there's our pound of butter.
Butter and sugar.
And we'll get a spatula and get all the goodings in there. And we need,
How much sugar do we need?
3/4 of a cup.
Okay.
So that's a full cup less than what the recipe calls for. And then with your almond paste is very hard. So what you're gonna wanna do is cut it up in very small slices. Because otherwise you're gonna have bits and bobs in your cake and it won't be smooth. So,
I've never seen it done.
yeah, it's a little bit
Just
more
pour it in?
granular. Yeah, just go ahead and pour it in.
All right, sugar.
All right, so with our almond paste, it's so good.
How did you first hear about almond paste? I've never heard of it like before this recipe.
Well, if you've ever had like a croissant, like an almond croissant,
Yeah.
it's gonna have almond paste in
It
it.
always does every
Yes.
Oh.
And I don't know what the difference between marzipan and almond paste is.
Oh,
It'd be
interesting.
fun to look up.
Yeah.
So I just slice this very, very thin. As thin as you could possibly get it. Because otherwise, like I said, you're gonna have chunks. And obviously have it at room temperature. So I've had all my ingredients out since this morning, my eggs, my almond paste, my butter. Everything works so much better if it's room temperature.
So would you suggest not just heating the butter on the stove, just leaving it out? Like, does that change your recipe if you just heat the butter on the stove? Or?
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, you definitely want to
Just
soften.
room temperature.
Yeah, you don't ever want to melt butter unless it calls for melted butter. Then you're gonna
okay.
you're gonna wreck your recipe. It's gonna
Oh.
be funky. Yeah. So
Alright.
I always just follow the recipes just as they say, especially when it comes to baking. I mean, other things I'll improvise, but baking, I'm not much of an improviser with baking. It's an exact science.
Do you feel like gluten-free is a little more difficult to bake with because it has to be certain, or do you feel like it's easier to bake gluten-free?
This recipe was not written for gluten-free.
Mm-hmm.
I get my paddle, and I just use gluten-free flour with it.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I have my mixer here. So we're gonna mix this till it's smooth. So you want to put it on like medium and mix it till it's nice and smooth. It takes about 3 minutes. This is actually a super easy recipe. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna add our eggs and our flour and our baking powder. And one thing that's kind of fun with this recipe
Oh, the best part.
is you have a little liqueur which is so festive for the holidays, right? So a little liqueur. Now it calls for Grand Marnier or a orange liqueur.
Mm-hmm.
You can use whatever you want. I mean, you could put, you know, an apricot brandy in there. You could put rum in there if you don't want it so
rum?
sweet. Yeah, you could put chambord in there, which is like a berry liqueur. So you can mix that up and play with it and do whatever you like, which is kind of fun. I like the orange liqueur with the almond personally. I think it just tastes really good.
It gives like a little, you can totally taste that orange liqueur when you take a bite. It's like this very nice little like,
Ooh, very nice one.
a little, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So once we get this mixed, we're going to put in the triple sec and the eggs. And we're going to sift together the flour and the baking powder. So we can kind of measure those out. So we want a cup of the, we're doing it gluten-free. So a cup of the gluten-free, and then 1 teaspoon baking powder, and we're going to sift those together. So once you get that measured out, then I'll put the baking powder in there. Just a cup.
Okay. All right, a cup.
So this is almost done. I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's kind of done.
All right.
Whoops. This serves, I'd say, easily 10 to 12 people. It's we just do little slivers because it's really rich, so it serves a lot of people. I want to see what it says on this recipe. How many servings it says.
Oh, someone's coming over to try something.
Mama Lisa's in the kitchen. That always makes good for good times. You know, yesterday we just did that little Instagram thing on keeping your blood sugar balanced and not gaining too much weight. So you gotta be having small pieces of this stuff.
And you can have smalls, just a little teeny bit. It really is conducive to having small pieces. So
Make sure you have your protein at the meal with it.
well, it has a lot of fat in it, so it's going to raise your glycemic index a little bit slower because there's, you know, eggs and a lot of fat in here with all the butter. So, you know, and then if you use a low glycemic index sugar, all right, so this is what we got. So it's looking, you know, you can tell it has a little bit of texture because of the almond paste in there, but that's about like what you want it to look like. Kind of a little ricey. It almost looks a little ricey.
And you want to put the baking powder into the flour?
Baking powder into the flour.
All right.
All right, so now we're gonna add our eggs one at a time. I think that's where we are.
So
Yeah.
what do you like to do for Christmas besides cook and eat?
I love playing a huge family game together. You usually get, is it croquet? I love feeding my family. I think the best part is like a little friendly family competition always brings the best out of everybody.
Nice.
So you're just getting you're eating a huge meal, but right afterwards you're going out and you're being active. So,
Croquet,
yes.
cornhole,
totally. Something to, or you go on a huge walk. We usually go on a huge hike afterwards. I usually go up near Yosemite where we go ice skating the next day. So we eat this huge meal and then we just spend quality family time together, but you're doing something active.
That's awesome.
I know.
That's the
What
best.
about you guys? What do you guys do?
If it's a nice day, well, we always go to our friend's house Christmas Day and have a little eggnog, a little community eggnog with our friends and make the best
Bill
eggnog.
Jager, yeah, he starts the eggnog curing 3 months before. It's like sitting in his fridge for 3 months. He plans ahead.
I know. Jeez.
And then
we will go either stand up paddling if the day's nice, we'll go for a hike.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times she wants to watch Laker games. And like we're all going like, really, Lisa? On a Christmas day, you want to watch the Laker games? Gosh.
Okay, so now we got it going. It's looking really pretty. We added our eggs. And now we're gonna add 1/3 of a cup of whatever kind of liqueur that you choose is your favorite.
Pour that right in.
Slowly pour that baby in there. Whoop, we sloshed a little bit.
Mmm.
Wow,
It
that
smells
smells
good.
so good.
No, doesn't that smell good?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. I'll have a little piece. A little piece.
Little piece. I'll make sure of that.
All right.
Okay.
1 or 2 helpings.
Yeah. So yeah, this cake can go a long way. You know, it's. Oh, I forgot to get my springform pan down. We're gonna be putting it in a springform pan. So if you don't have a springform pan, they're really not that expensive. Sometimes you can get them at Coast Hardware. Our local Coast Hardware, you can get a springform pan. We want to butter it.
Butter it?
And flour it. So I'll grab that. Okay, so what we'll do is
Just pour this in.
let's sift that into a bowl, and then we'll pour the bowl in.
Right.
Okay, so one thing about sifting
Yes.
is that, did you know you never want to clean your sifter with water?
Ever? Why not?
Because it gets rusty.
So what would be your advice to help clean it? Or you just kind
I
of
just
dust
kinda-
it out?
I just kind of dust it out and wipe it down with a paper towel perhaps,
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe on the inside, but they never really get that dirty. Same thing with a rolling pin.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, you don't want to submerge your rolling pin in water ever, so you just want to wipe it down.
With it wet. Do you want to be wet, or is it just wipe it down with it?
You can wipe it down with a little paper towel that's a little bit wet, but you don't want to ever submerge this or your rolling pin. Okay, I'm going to let you finish.
All right.
I'm going to get out my springform pan while you do that.
Takes a little extra work, but it's always worth it.
I
when you
love
eat
looking
it.
at sifting flour.
Yes, it
Okay.
looks perfect.
We're climbing up here to top to get our springform pan.
Little extra work always makes the best. I feel like the recipe sometimes, I mean, I might be wrong, but just little things make a huge difference in the recipe of just sifting the flour. We're almost finished.
Okay. So one of the things that my kids love to do at Christmas is sit on the top of the stairs.
What? What's the story behind that?
And wait until everything's done down below, because mom and dad are always a little bit lame and take a little bit longer. So they
Oh, for the Christmas and stockings.
Yeah.
So Christmas morning they wait and sit. Oh, it must have been like the hardest when you were a kid. That is so funny.
It is pretty funny. Okay, I am using my hands to put butter into this springform pan. So I'm just buttering it, and then I'm gonna butter it, and I'm going to flour it. And these cakes come out. It's amazing you have to butter and flour this with how much butter is already in it.
To make
Okay.
it not stick.
Yeah.
I guess it's a more healthy way instead of spraying it.
It's
And
true.
she always washes her hands first.
Okay, so if with this, just put in like a teaspoon of flour into here, and then
Okay.
we'll just kind of mix, like kind of swirl that
Sprinkle it,
around.
yeah.
Okay, here we go with our flour, slowly adding it to our moist mixture.
All right.
So there are not very many ingredients, as you can see.
No, it's just a couple
6.
recipes. How many? 6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
7 ingredients.
And I feel like a lot of these things you could just grab right out of your pantry. You don't have to go shopping for this huge recipe.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Except for the
almond
almond paste.
Which is maybe difficult to find at Whole Foods. I had
In unison.
Yeah. Don't, when you go and get your almond paste, just make sure you don't pick up marzipan. because they're right next to one another.
They are.
So,
I almost did.
so just make sure you grab almond paste. And if you ever find almond paste without sugar, then you're gonna, like I said, have to increase the sugar in this. Okay, we're pretty much done.
Wow. Put that in.
How easy was that? So easy. I wish. How much time did that take?
I think it was about 7, 8 minutes. Well, give and take.
That is one quick, righteous dessert.
Forget to make a recipe. You could even make it when the guests are here. Sometimes be in the kitchen, just whip it out real fast.
This is a fast cake, and you know what? No one's gonna ever think that it was a fast cake because it is so good,
Yes.
right? Okay.
All right.
So then we're good job. Let's do. Did you get? Let's
You
get
want the little sides?
Yeah,
Let's
get a little
more.
sides. Little side. I think that's
Oh,
probably
that's good.
enough.
Okay.
Little sides. Okay. We're just gonna put it in here. So one of the things when you bring it out is I sprinkle the top with a little powdered sugar. Just put some slivered nuts.
These almonds.
Show them the slivered almonds. And then just take some powdered sugar, and I just put my powdered sugar.
Do you sift it in the on top? Or
You
do
could totally sift it. You absolutely could do that. That would actually be a really good idea. I usually just take my, what are they called? What are these called? I have no idea what these are called. I just use that and I put a little
strainer.
Strainer.
And then I'll just put a little powdered sugar in my strainer. And,
This to clean that off.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Why, did you want to clean it off?
No, I was just thinking you
Get a
don't want
little-
you don't want to give me stuff, too much stuff on it.
So, here we go.
Get every last piece.
Every little bit, last little bit.
And this comes off by
Oops.
I'll clean this up.
Okay, so then in your springform pan, you're just gonna
Oh.
put the glory
Evenly.
evenly. So I'm gonna show you what this looks like, and I want you to see that you can actually see some of the bigger chunks of the almond paste. So you can see there's kind of like some big chunks of almond paste in there, and that's just kind of how it happens. So, you know, you don't want to over whip it, and you don't want to under whip it. The more you know, because then you can do too much. So that's what it looks like. It comes out beautiful golden brown. Put it on 350.
Just whip it good.
So I'm gonna turn on my oven. I haven't turned it on yet. And that's pretty much it. How easy was that?
So easy. And how much powdered sugar do you put on? Just put a little bit in here and sift it
Just a
bit?
little bit. No, not yet.
Not yet? Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do that at the end.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you do it after it's cooked.
Oh, and then just put the almonds on top as the
Just sprinkle the almonds on the top and that at the end, and you're golden.
Perfect.
So that is.
what was those cherries we had the other night? That
Thank
was
you.
amazing.
Okay, so then you garnish it with the almonds. Put out your powdered sugar. These are from Trader Joe's. They're
so good.
almond cherries.
They were amazing.
They were amazing. So what I do is I put them in a pan and I heat them up. They have the stems on them still, so when you open them up and you find the stems, don't be surprised. You gotta pick all the stems off. I heat it up just slightly, little ice cream. You can make some whipped cream.
Melts just together.
Yeah.
It's
It's really good.
amazing.
And you only need like about 1 or 2 cherries on there and just a
Yep.
little dribble because this is really sweet. And you could do whipped cream too. And it's beautiful with
Yes.
the cherries. It's really festive and it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. We'll put the recipe up on our blog or our website so you can check it out and make one this Christmas. So thank you for tuning in and have a great Christmas and a Merry Holiday.
Yeah, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.